海賊王になる男だ。
What is going on, guys? It is your boy Cali Mac on the track, and we're bringing it back, and we are back with Strawhat Sitdown, episode 139. Yo,
Hey.
yo, Elias is in the corner going crazy, bro.
You
almost couldn't get through it,
you
bro.
hit that whole thing, man.
Oh man. I'm here with the gang, and we gotta get the laughs out the way now, because once we start the chapter, it's gonna be straight tears. It's gonna be rough. So we gotta get the laughter out the way now. I'm here with the crew as usual. Feel me? Strawhat in the building. What's going on, brother?
Good, y'all? What's good, y'all? I didn't expect this type of chapter, so yeah.
None of us did.
I mean, yeah, it was definitely emotional, and I feel like we're gonna get into some emotional, some strong feels this time around.
Yeah, I feel
so
like I definitely feel like this is not a breakdown chapter. This is gonna be more of just a reaction chapter, just talking about how we felt, because
it was a lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Mr. G in the building. What's going on, brother?
What's good, y'all? A few shout outs. As you guys see, I'm dressed crazy because I'm dressed like Franky in honor of Kazuki Yao. He retired officially from being Franky. He's the first Straw Hat to leave, the voice actor to leave because of his health. So, shout out to you. Super, like that's one of the best lines in One Piece. I love Franky. I have tattooed on me. So, it's definitely not just a chapter, but it's just definitely a sad day. At first, I thought he was dead. I'm not gonna lie, because people were posting it like oh, in remembrance type of thing, and I was like, oh shit, but ended up not being the case, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But it's still though it shows that he's been Franky in the series for over 25 years. He's been Bon Clay also, and a few other characters. So the fact that he's stepping down is crazy. Like One Piece has been going on for a long time.
Yeah, you could tell. Like, I think the voice was like wear and tear was.
Yeah.
Like, especially with the Fishman remake, right? Like, you're like, whoa, Franky sounds so excited and energetic. And you notice like, oh damn, this thing like bro's been going at it for a long time. So yeah, I really respect the shout out, and the hair is fire.
Thank you. And also one more shout out. I got into my 3D printing era, and I made my first devil fruit.
Nice.
Mirror no me. So my printer, I call her Lilith. So she's making work right now, bro. So shout out, because Frank blessed me with One Piece stuff, and helped guided me with the purchase of my 3D printer. So shout out to you, Frank. Thank you. And it's been pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
That's fire.
Yeah, you're going nuts.
That's fire. All right. Last but not least, YS in the building. What's going on, my brother?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. I definitely like everyone else said. I did not expect this chapter. The weird thing is that I heard like, oh, it's a must-read chapter. Like yo, like you don't want to miss it, blah blah. And I'm thinking like yo, did Shanks pull up or something? Like what's going on, right? But and then it's this, and I'm like, I understand. And I'll say it. I'll probably mention it more later. But I realize like sometimes I get caught up in like the theories and voice century and history. I'm like, nah, this is what we're here for, bro. Like the emotional aspect of One Piece. So sick chapter. I'm happy to talk about it.
Yeah, I definitely think a lot of times we get caught up with the story and theory crafting, power scaling, all this extra shit. But there's stuff like this is at the heart and soul of the story, and this is the stuff that Oda shines in. When he writes in this bag, when he gets in this bag, there are very few that can compete with him.
4-page flashback, like he's on that 4-page flashback is his Black Flash, bro. Like
yeah.
What a comparison! I love it.
All right, let's get into it. Let's just get into it. Chapter 1133, Nice Things. Cover story update. We got some actual development. Holden is here, attacking Tama, killing the horse girl whose name escapes me. Not killing, but speed, damaging speed. I guess holding Tama hostage. That's Tama, right?
Away.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I called that literally last chapter said that it might be a member of the Beast Pirates. I don't know if anyone remembers.
No, I remember you were saying like, who do we know that's not? Who do we know for sure is locked up?
Mhm.
Yeah,
I remember that train of
yeah.
thought.
Are
Kunaga
we?
said that it might be a member of the Beast Pirates that
Escaped, getting caught.
yeah.
Are we assuming that this guy is the thief?
That's a great question.
So I think he's in on it, but can he also be controlled by Otama with the
The
ability?
Maybe the
Because he
second,
has
maybe the
he has
second
a
phase
beast in him.
can.
yeah,
'Cause
it's weird
you know-
because Speed is like part horse, but he's almost like two things.
Yeah. So the only reason I ask because like, what if they're all in on it? Otama's in on it too. You know what I mean? Like,
Yo, you,
Oh,
Like-
whoa, that's
you know that picture?
Wow.
That's probably from a very popular show with the guy with the dartboard in the back and all the
All
strands
the
and
things
pins.
connecting the pieces and shit.
Yeah, that's Mr. He's like, yo, what if Tom was in on it?
yeah, dude, I mean, I'm just saying, like, she got
I'm
caught
not-
easily. I don't know.
I think
Uh,
Yamato's selling. Actually, that's my real opinion. Like, how do
Yeah.
you let this guy do this much damage to your squad right now?
Yeah, Yamato should not be in a precarious position from the
It's
likes
a
of
little
him.
embarrassing. Yeah.
That's true. I will.
But
I agree.
I think it's good. It's great questions. Like that's like especially the train of thought of like, is he even the person that stole the sword? I don't know if he would be the person that stole the sword because like, why would he double back?
Right.
Yeah, so he
Right.
probably is not the person who stole the sword. He might not even be connected to the person who stole the sword.
I think he is. I think they sent him. They're like, oh, they're catching up.
Slow him down?
Yeah.
Yeah. I see it. Could be.
So
That's ideal.
We'll see.
All right, let's get into the chapter. We start this chapter with a flashback to 22 years ago, directly after the events of Ohara. We get, I'm assuming, a vice admiral. I don't know, it's submarine, huh?
It's Spandam's dad from Water 7. It's the same
Ah,
guy
right, because he was on the gosh.
Yeah. His name is Spandine.
Okay, we get Spandime. Just talking about the scene at Ohara, how the evacuation ship got exploded, and how he's blaming everything on Nico Robin, and he's speaking to the press. So this is when the press start putting out the wanted posters and informing all Marines and state government agents that this girl is a menace, a threat to society.
Damn. So this is generational beef. Like it started with
Yeah.
Damn, so with the dad into the son. That's OD. Bro.
Yeah,
He was the one like in the flashback in Ohara in Water 7. Like he's like yo, search all this place. Like yo, shoot them. Blah blah blah. Like he was there. And it's crazy that like this is why Robin has an $81 million bounty as a kid. Like they blamed her for literally everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's actually
fucked
a
up.
crazy revelation. Also, Akanu's the most. I'm gonna restrain myself. He couldn't even take credit for killing those niggas. He had to pin it on a little girl.
Oh, I didn't even think about that, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, the
Because
ship.
he was
That's
the
it.
one
The
that
ship
did
was
it.
him. It was his fault.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, it was his fault.
And he didn't say he like. I mean, maybe I might give him the benefit of the doubt that Spandine just didn't even ask and said, "Yeah, I'm gonna spin it my way." I didn't even talk to Akenu. I just think it's come on, man. But whatever, he's a piece of shit.
No, of course you don't want people finding out that your admiral killed one of the civilians. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
People
it's
that
better.
surrendered and evacuated.
Yeah.
You better off just pinning it all on her. Like, oh, she killed her own people. You know, like and did everything. Like,
shit is crazy, bro.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah. Yeah, so we see how word spreads from the Marines and government agents to the people, civilians in these different islands, that Robin is a demon. She has the eyes of the killer. No emotions, etc., etc. And as we see these people getting this perspective on Robin, we see Robin just trying to survive, digging through trash for food. This panel right here in the middle left, she's just standing in the rain. I don't know if there was some significance.
I think she's hiding from people trying to chase her, right?
Right
side of the middle.
Yeah, the right side of the middle. Yeah.
I think it's just her like in the rain, like hearing what people are saying. You know what I mean? Like as she's running away. Like
okay,
she has freaky powers. Like and back to, I know I mentioned Wicked last week, but this is also another great parallel that Oda does of like from Wicked in a way, because Elphaba, the Wicked Witch of the West that we all know is evil, she's actually super nice, but the world paints her in this terrible light. That's the same thing that's happening here to Robin, which is crazy. You know, like it's yeah. So Robin is One Piece's Elphaba, which is awesome. And no, it's true. I mean, both stories just really be hitting, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, so Robin is seeing all these things that people are saying about her. She's hiding from the people trying to kill her. We get this super sad panel of her just staring over the cliffside, like basically look like she's ready to jump until she has a flashback of her mom telling her to live, and so she carries on. Like Oda really just driving home how bad Robin had it before she met the Straw Hats, as she was trying to survive in the world. We see her having a flashback with Saul, telling her the same thing, that she'll eventually find friends, you gotta live, keep going. Telling her when things get bad, remember the infamous laugh. Yeah, and then we get pages of her trying to survive, running away, fighting for her life, all while putting up the laugh, even through tears. It's really sad. Really sad stuff.
The middle pages there are very interesting, where she's just looking at books because that's what she's into, and then she notices on a map that Ohara has been erased, and she puts it back down. I thought that was really cool, and obviously she gets punished for it, but that was a nice little moment. And I think one thing I really think like about this part is that it shows that she like her mom and Saul kept her alive, like she didn't kill herself, but she was still questioning, like, why do I even have to keep going, right? Like, and you can hear these things, right? Like, you're gonna find friends, like the world is a good place, but you have to have it proven. So I like that it shows that she understood it but questioned it and said like wow, like is that really the case?
Yeah.
And I didn't think I needed more from the Robin flashback, but I was reading this and I was like, who needed a reminder about Saul and Robin? But it actually was so good and it hit so hard.
Yeah, and it definitely ties into everything perfectly at the end. So.
No, he did. Yeah. This is a great way to drive home the end of the chapter for sure. This definitely was a very good setup. What?
I was gonna say it also shows that, like, you know, like really why Robin and Bonnie like are like kind of like you see notice how they kind of put them two in the same panels, talking, bonding, and everything else.
Yeah,
they really do have a lot of similarities. Like they do, like
dude,
a lot. Yeah, absolutely. And I like how they kind of expanded on Robin's situation here, because they expanded on Ohara, but we saw more here. We see more of like the after results and stuff like that, and her confessions, like you said, why has her questioning things and all that other stuff, and like even questioning about her own life. So I appreciate the this to drive home the narrative between like Robin and Bonnie.
Yeah, I said it last week. Bonnie is this generation's Robin, right? Like, and that's why like seeing them together, Robin taking watching over her makes perfect sense.
Yeah, we definitely see a little connection between them for sure.
Yeah, really.
All right, back to the present day. We are back in Elbaf. The ship has crossed the rainbow and landed on a sea of clouds. So Elbaf has sea clouds too, apparently. And as they land, another ship pops out, and it is a Svar.
That was the best thing I was gonna do, man. You got it.
Okay, good shit. Yeah, I didn't know. So this ship uses clouds on the rows to sail through the sky.
Yeah,
fire.
Yeah, it's absolutely fire. Even Lilith comments how technologically advanced this land is.
Yeah, like all those things that we've seen in different islands, all together working in unison, which is awesome.
That is very interesting. And I think another thing about Elbaf, again, backwards, it's Fable, right? Apparently, and like all the magical sections of it, like it seems like this is And even just the beginning, right? Like last chapter, where Braga says rainbows are meant to be crossed. I feel like that's like Oda, like screaming, like this is a land where anything is possible, right?
Yeah,
and it kind of makes sense as to why they're like the most reverent of the sun god. So I'm assuming that has something to do with it in terms of like doing whatever, fighting however you want, doing whatever you want.
Whatever you want. That I like that comparison a lot. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. I
think also another thing, this is on the Lilith point, is that she also mentions that the climate on Elbaf is simply perfect. And I remember that in Egghead, Vegapunk was complaining that like the only reason that the robot could fly on Elbaf and that the boots worked on not Elbaf, sorry, excuse me, on Egghead and the boots worked on Egghead was that he was using the climatizer, right? So it was cool that maybe he maybe after going to Elbaf, he was like, oh, this is a good temperature for it to work.
Yeah.
Like, so
he was trying to achieve that perfection with that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I thought that might have been a connection.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Definitely possible. Yeah. So on the Savar is Harudijin. Is that?
Yeah. I think it's the new giant pirate ship.
Okay, yeah, because you see them carrying the Sunny. Yeah, right. Well, actually, no. The new giants weren't carrying the Sunny. It was
Gerd and
no, those are the new giants. Okay, no, okay, I'm right. Okay, I was tripping myself up. Sometimes you gotta have confidence and believe you know what you're talking about. It'd be like that sometimes.
You weren't wrong though. It's not Hydrogen's ship though. So like I see like you technically weren't wrong, but it's all good.
Regardless, the whole crew, everybody's here. We're all back. Luffy's excited to see Harudijin again. Nami comments on Robin's changed hair. The gang's all here. Harudijin talks about how Luffy's an emperor of the sea now, and tells him how the new giant pirates are at his service, even though Luffy refuses. They don't care.
Mm-hmm. Well, supposed to be 5, but they just said 4 because they're not counting Roto. This dude is chained up in the back on a cross, bro. That's wild.
That was funny. He's like, it's 5 in the back. Like no one cares, man.
Yeah.
They talk a little bit about how news about the Big Mom defeat made it over here. Mm-hmm. And then Gerd drops a little piece of information that she used to be friends with Lin, but she did something unforgivable to Elbaf.
Was she there?
Yeah, she was there. Yeah. So was Hajin.
You talk about Mother Caramel's thing, right?
Yeah. She was on Elbaf and was part of the village, and then so the Big Mom flashback went like they did the Selma fast, right? And then she went crazy. She couldn't fast, and then so they left the village, and that's when she left Gerd and then she ate the other village, right? If I believe.
Yeah.
So she was originally on the Elbaf Village, and then that's when she knew those guys.
Interesting. Alright, so they say that they're getting ready for a toast, celebrate for everybody making it back, a whole bunch of food. Before they all run off, Robin calls for Luffy, and then next thing you know, we're cut to a different part of town where we are rowing through the skies. Oh yeah, no, they're on the Savar, yeah. Robin's telling them she can go on her own. Everybody's like, no way, we're coming with you. And this is when Gerd reveals that they're talking about Dr. Saul. Gerd is taking all of them to the school below the library where Saul normally resides. Awesome Luffy moment here. Yep. Second only to the end of the chapter, because I think the end of the chapter is one of the best Luffy moments of all time. But regardless, Luffy says, as being the captain, he wants to make sure that he pays respect to anybody who helped his crew out, which is amazing. He's never met this dude. Has he ever been explicitly even told about Saul? I'm pretty sure like whatever this conversation that Robin had with Luffy is where Luffy learns about Saul for the first time, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he heard her back. Oh, yeah, he might. Because the backstory was from Spandam, right? Who was telling the Strawhat that on the legendary panel when they're on the rooftop looking at Robin and Spandam and Franky.
But that's not. Spandam that wasn't Spandam telling. That was.
So he would have no reason to know about Saul.
Because that flashback was like just for like a reader perspective. I don't think it was like them.
Oda used it, and then Oda used it to show us Robin's perspective. Yeah, I think you're right. Actually, that this might be the first time he's ever heard about Saul.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. I don't think Luffy was ever explicitly told by Saul, or if he has, it was like off camera, off manga panel.
Yeah, I'm assuming it was right here because when Robin says, "Hey, Luffy," because after that they all decide to go with us. I'm assuming she conveyed to some level the extent of who Saul is and what he's done for for Luffy to even react this way. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
Dude, she literally stopped him from going to eat. You know, he's already ready to go.
Yeah.
And party and shit, and that's not Luffy, you know. But the fact that Robin, of all people, like you see all the Straw Hats running, you know what I mean, to go eat, and then you see Robin stays back, and she's the only one that's like, "Hey, Luffy," and then boom, like immediately everyone's like, "No, let's go take care of what she needs to take care of right now first."
I think that's actually a really sweet thing for Oda to show us, right? Like, because there's nothing the Straw likes more than fucking partying. But if there's anything, it's the other Straw Hat.
It's the other crewmates, I'm pretty sure the top left, that's Zoro. When Chopper's like, "I want to see this," Zoro's like, "Me too," even if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and then Jinbei's trying to like, I'm just seeing the sights. Like they're all acting all nonchalant, like they don't want to be here for her, like you know. But like,
no, they're all saying that they want to see it. 100. Jinbei has said some funny shit, but even Zoro saying "Me too" is cool because Zoro never shows.
Zoro's responding to Jinbei. He's like, Jinbei, I'm just seeing the sights, and Zoro's like, "Me too." He's being nonchalant.
Okay, I read that wrong. I got you.
But I think he's being a little, like coy, like
definitely.
Like, you're not gonna tell me Zoro doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, okay, that's Jinbei and Zoro at the bottom acting like that. That's funny.
I think Jinbei kind of makes sense.
Yeah, but they're hiding it behind, Robin. Nah, it's okay. Well, I mean, I'm just
exactly. She's like, it's not a big deal. Like I could do it on my own, but no, for everyone, it's a big deal. You know what I mean?
And we had the moment. Man. We had the moment too before Whole Cake where Sanji was missing and Zoro was sitting right outside the room where they're telling the story, like, or they're hearing about it. And Luffy walks by and he's like, "You're worried about him, aren't you?" Like, so no one will ever tell me Zoro's not like invested. So yeah, this is the Straw Hats are the best, man. I missed it. I'm glad you pointed out that they put off eating and having a party for Robin because that's what matters.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean that's why Oda showed it, bro.
We get the full context of them telling Harudijin and Bragi, Dory, whichever one, telling them their plan, and then they let them know when you get Saul, bring him back, and we'll have a feast then. I feel like this is a clear indication that they are not going to make it back. I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay, that's fair.
I thought that in my head just now, but I think Oda just maybe like because this chapter is so like the ending is so like it's one of the best chapters I've ever read. Real. Yeah. And I think honestly, there's a chance like he just wanted to give them this moment. Or stuff could just pop off right now. That's also possible.
Right.
Because it's definitely possible. Because I feel it's still a bit too early.
It's way too early for a feast. We're in the first 10 chapters.
Whoa, wait. Hold on. I thought the feast was because of
it's not like the we did it. It's like we're here.
It's not the we did it feast, but. When is there ever a feast? The earliest feast we've ever had, feast/party we've ever had, was halfway through Skypiea when they were in the forest.
Well, hold on. We have to remember though that Egghead was just happened. They didn't feast after that. In fact, they held off. Remember, like for the most part.
Yeah, we
have like a little miniature.
Yeah, that little mini feast. Yeah.
Usopp and Luffy being held by the giants. Yeah, so I would count that honestly.
You would count it,
like a little bit, but I still think that like I don't think it's gonna.
Though.
I think there's relevance to a feast and like being in the Elbaf Village and getting to know people. You know what I mean? And then because again, like Elbaf's a huge place and there's a lot of mystery going around clearly from the last chapter. So I think there might be like a lot of reason for Oda to slow us down, have people mingle, and gain information, and for us
and a little bit more expedition, just a little bit more, because I don't think like, I mean, it's always possible that something could pop off. I'm not disputing that, but I just personally feel like we have a little bit more ways to go before we get to the main center conflict. Quite, you know what I mean? Like we're just not don't feel like we're there yet.
Yeah, I feel you.
But to Callie's point, it might be something smaller. It might be something more intriguing. It might be something like, oh, what's going on here? Or like, oh, someone shows up that's not supposed to, or like kid or something like that, right?
True. Kid could be washed up on the shore.
Yeah.
This is when we find out that Loki is free, and he like pops up like, "Hey, what's up, everybody?" Then everyone has like dread hit them, and then Straw Hats are like, "What the fuck's going on?" Then Luffy,
I would count that as like a game changing game. Kind of, I'm not gonna lie.
Shit, that'd be crazy. But
Yeah,
no, it's definitely possible.
It's
Definitely possible.
yeah.
I'm gonna go on the record and say they're not having the feast, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Yeah,
That's my side.
but if you're right,
You feel me?
told us.
You feel me? You feel me? Y'all gonna hear it.
If you right, as one of the people that put shorts up on the YouTube, you got one. Bro.
Let's go. You know you made it when you made it short.
By the way, technically, the earliest feast that they did have, I think, was even before Skypiea, was Whiskey Peak when they first got there.
To be fair, that was the whole arc, though.
I know, but like,
That's
still,
fair. But that's fair.
like,
That's definitely fair.
Yeah.
That's definitely fair. All right. So they finally make it to the library. Trying to make sure I didn't forget anything. They finally make it to the library. They let them. One of the giants let them know that Dr. Saul is a teacher. He teaches class on history and books. And they see the library, which is like, this shit looks like straight out of a fairy tale for real. It's like built into the tree over a waterfall, surrounded by water and a beach. Just a really cool looking place.
Yeah, it's fire.
Yeah, it's dope.
Yeah. Luffy, I guess they land. Luffy immediately tries to rush off to bring Saul back, but Nami stops him, letting him know this is Robin's moment. You can't be doing that. Robin, nervous, excited, ready to meet this person who she's been waiting to see for years on end, that she's missed for over 22 years. But as soon as she steps foot, we see one of the Elbaf residents running to all of the Straw Hats, letting them know that Dr. Saul has fallen and he cannot get up.
Yep. Which we saw in like what, a few chapters ago, right?
Yes.
We saw, because they were like, "Oh, Dr. Saul fell."
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I gotta be honest, this panel is when I realized that Saul was good. It wasn't when I saw him on the beach or when Robin reacted. It was when I saw Luffy, Sanji, and them directly paralleling comments that people have been making when they saw the news about Saul. Like, this is literally what people were saying. We were waiting for this reunion for years. We just got to Elbaf. No way we can't meet Robin. Like, when I saw this, I'm like, okay, yeah, Robin, Saul's fine.
Yeah.
And so the Elbaf resident points to Saul, and when Robin sees Saul, she just laughs. She lets everyone know everything's fine. I'll go on my own. Listen, I got nervous for nothing. Don't even worry about it. And here's where the waterworks started. Robin walks up to Saul. Saul slightly takes a peek at Robin and then lets out a large, loud roar to try and scare her. He realizes it didn't work. He laughs. And then as he's looking at her, he recognizes how much Robin has grown from the kid that he once knew.
And that she's smiling.
And she's smiling. For those of you that aren't aware, I'm sure everybody in here has seen it, but this right half of the page is a direct parallel to the very first time Robin met Saul. Literally panel for panel, walks up, looks at Saul does the fake roar growl trying to scare her. It's literally a direct, like, 1-for-1 shot, except Robin is older now.
That shit was why I started crying, bro.
Yeah, right in the fields. That was the first one for sure. So Saul remarks Robin's not a kid anymore, and he wasn't really sure how to break the ice. And Robin just laughs because he still has the the same old laugh. Saul picks up Robin and they start having a conversation. He's like, "Let me get a good look at you." And he lets her know that she looks just like her mother. And Robin's face just lights up.
Yeah. Olivia.
Yeah. Oh man, it's coming already. We got a flashback of Olivia just telling Robin how you can't give up on the world and that you'll understand someday. And then Saul starts talking about Vegapunk's message.
Real quick before you continue, Kelly.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys picked this up, but we finally get a pirate with a peg leg. Saul has a peg leg. I know.
Oh, interesting.
People
I didn't
would be
even
mad
realize.
because we haven't seen a pirate with a eye patch or a peg leg yet. So we
I
finally got
thought
one.
the eye patch was the one that
eye patch
Oda
definitely.
specifically comments on. Like he was like, when you see the eye patch, just know it's getting real, or something to that effect.
Yeah, but I remember
But just for the fact that there's not much piratey like looking people. Yeah.
Like this is no Zeph did have a peg leg.
But that's actually when he retired, right?
Yeah.
He lost his leg.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. But still, like that's two people. So I feel you, Mister.
Yeah, it's definitely dope.
Yeah,
Definitely dope. Saul goes on to talk about Vegapunk's message. Robin lets him know that she was on the island in the middle of everything, so she couldn't really hear it. But Saul quotes Vegapunk saying history is told by the winners, and lets her know that those are words specifically from Ohara, and that if they were left to be buried in history, then they would have vanished completely. But the scholars of Ohara sent their voices, and Vegapunk's even though Vegapunk doesn't speak on good and evil, he gave his life to pass those voices on. And he's just remarking on how huge the Vegapunk speech is as an event in the One Piece world, and how much it'll mean for the future. And then Robin remarks on Saul's sacrifice, feeling on his scars, asking if it hurts. Saul explains how he survived. He was drowning at sea. He awoke drowning at sea, and that apparently the flames of the island melted the ice and dropped him into the water. And he didn't find out she was still alive until later, and when he found out all the things they were saying, he was absolutely furious. I like that last panel where he's just so before we get to the good part, how do we feel about Saul survival?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you guys. Did you guys for a second think that he might be the man with the
burn scar?
Yeah.
Man marked by flames.
Yeah. I think that was one of our original. That was definitely one of our theories. Like we brought that up when we found out he was alive.
Yeah, but the only issue with that is that we still got a descriptor of the man marked by flames that has the last row poneglyph sails on a black ship.
Yeah,
create whirlpools around him or something like that whenever you get close. So
and it seems like Saul is just chilling here, doing he's a teacher. I think they said, so it seems like unless he's like moonlighting as a sailor, he probably isn't leaving the island much.
No, I agree. I was just curious because that thought popped into my head while reading this, but now that that you bring up the fact that with the whirlpool and everything,
we still got that to tend to.
I'm kind of glad it's not because the other ones were like Aokiji, Saul, right? Those were like our biggest, the people that we knew, other than obviously some Roger Pirates or whatever. I'm glad it's going to be someone kind of new that we've never met like in person before.
Yeah, unless Saul is has some type of because all those books and stuff, I would probably consider him a scholar,
absolutely.
Yeah,
I call him Dr. Saul.
Doctor,
yeah, exactly. So he might be smart. He might have he could potentially have the last row poneglyph, but in order to scare people into legend or whatever, he might have created a contraption that creates whirlpools or something like that around, or something like that. Maybe that might be a little bit of a far fetch, but
I mean, just as
the imagination to give him the benefit of doubt.
Just as possible is that he gave it to somebody he trusts that has a burnt scar. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of possibilities. But I mean, if Vegapunk, I mean, not to say that Vegapunk has no idea where the right poneglyph is, but I assume that it's outside of the scope of Ohara's knowledge. But maybe I'm assuming too much.
It's possible.
I'm not gonna lie.
We did not answer Kai's question
Yeah,
at all.
Mr. definitely jacked my question, and then nobody answered it. But it's cool. It's cool. It's all good. It's all good.
I don't mind speaking on it at all.
Just how because some people are genuinely upset that Saul survived and is alive, and the way that he survived seems maybe a little convoluted.
Yeah.
How is it convoluted? He's a big guy that was trapped in ice. We've seen phenomenon like that in real life, where like in glaciers, like I think they found like remains of like prehistoric like mammoths and stuff like that in glaciers and stuff, especially because they were around during the ice age and everything.
But
and
you know, honestly, I think if anything, I have a problem with this. It's the flames melting the ice.
The island was on fucking fire. I feel like that's a pretty believable part.
That's
That's the part I actually believe, honestly.
Yeah, but you know what it is? I feel like it's just it doesn't make, maybe it's just me, it doesn't make as much sense to me that the flames would melt the ice and somehow keep him. The flames melt the ice and he lands in the water so that the flames melt the ice enough so that he survives but doesn't kill him. You can't say it doesn't sound a little convoluted.
But he's also a giant, right? Those guys are like crazy.
So they have more I guess endurance. I guess.
Yeah, they're definitely super durable.
So this doesn't bother y'all then? It doesn't bother y'all?
Not that part.
Not really.
Not really.
Especially because like we've seen Robin and Luffy both turn into ice, and they had to get defrosted with water and stuff.
With
So
hot water and stuff, yeah.
yeah. So the fact that like he got burned from the ice, because you get burns from ice.
Yeah.
The fire hit him, melted it, dropped him into the water that's already warm, seawater, and that just melted it even more. I saw. To me, it makes sense.
I think the drops me in part. I think the words "drop me in" makes it sound like I slipped on a banana peel and fell right into the cash drawer. You know, like some stupid.
That definitely helped more though, because he fell into the water, which helped melt it more, and then like
I just mean in the sense that it seems like the way he's putting it seems like it was just some coincidence rather than like I had to run from the flames into the water. You know what I mean? Like, or whatever it was, because
he couldn't run.
That's why it's a coincidence. It's literally all coincidental.
I understand. That's my point.
Fact that the coincidence of timing, that the fire melted the ice enough so that he could still move when it was dropped into the water. Like, who's to say? How is it that when it dropped into the water, the fire didn't evaporate and he was still encased in ice? It melted enough so that when it was dropped in water, he was able to move or break through the ice.
Yeah,
while
I think that's
the water is engulfing the flame so that it doesn't burn. It's convoluted, man. I'm not gonna lie.
I think it's too nebulous. I think that's like the best way to put it. I don't know if convoluted is the best way. I think like it kind of forces you to get to your own answer, which I think is like, because like if the fire melted the ice, wouldn't it just be sitting there in flames, right? There's so many ways to question it and be like, oh, I don't really see the point in it. But so I understand why people are like, oh, that seems convoluted. But I would just go with the easiest answer, that he ended up in the water after the flames, and he somehow like got there. But my point, I actually think a very fair reason to like not like this is that I think Oda's biggest, like one of Oda's biggest things, that he doesn't kill people. I don't know why he doesn't do it. So I think it was unclear. The only reason we had to believe that Saul was meant to survive and come back in the story later was the words "ice time capsule,"
Right.
which wasn't even the last time that Aokiji froze him. It was the first time he froze him, I think, if I recall, out of 2 times.
Yeah.
So I think that's like, if there was more to understand, like oh, Saul's definitely coming back, then sure, I would be like,
Yeah.
oh, this is no problem.
I feel like I would I want to say 2 points because I don't want to convolute the two, because in terms of outside of the reasonings by his death, this is probably the only fake out death in the story that I'm not mad at.
Yes, I actually believe that there's a very real, like, the rest of the chapter is the reason that's fine.
Right. I'm not, this is the one fake out death that I'm not upset at. It's just the way that we got here that can draw a little confusion. I feel like I would have accepted this more if it was all just in Aoki's hands. If time capsule really meant time capsule and he was just set to unfreeze after a certain amount of time. You know what I mean? I think it would be a lot easier to digest that way.
There's also the possibility that Aokiji will tell us that later, and that Saul just didn't know that and didn't understand that. But I'm not gonna give Oda the benefit of the doubt. I just think he's like, yeah, let me bring Saul back. That's definitely what I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like you said, I don't give a fuck. This is hype.
to be fair, this way does people were, I think someone in one of our Twitter chat was asking if they think Alkainu defrosted Saul. I'm like, bro, like, you know, it definitely leaves a lot of questions, but I'm cool with it. It is what it is. We got what we got. You know what I mean. So but I do see what you mean though, Callie.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm really not. Because of what we get, I'm definitely not mad at Saul coming back, and I'm sure that of all the characters that have had fake out deaths, I'm pretty sure this one is going to have some actual, probably the most importance to the story. So like the point where him being alive is going to progress things outside of just the emotional impact. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not like he was a minor side character that hasn't had 5 lines, that was holding a bomb to his chest.
Yeah.
Or a character that hasn't appeared since, that was getting cut at the neck in Cough, cough, just saying.
Yeah.
True.
Literally.
So I'm not even mad at it. I'm still not mad at the explanation either. So I'm 10 for 10 here.
That's fair. That's definitely fair. Yeah, so Saul is ticked off at the way that Robin has been portrayed in the papers. Robin's like, I don't want to talk about these things. Instead, I want to hear nice things about how I survived. Saul starts laughing. He says, no kidding. A tiny child like you on the run from the entire world. Bless you for being alive, Robin. 22 whole years. Bless you for surviving. Bless you for coming to see me. Robin hugs Saul. She has a flashback, wondering why does she have to live this way, saying she wants to die. She starts getting teary-eyed, and then she screams out crying, I missed you so much, Saul. Saul replies with his trademark laugh, I missed you too. They share a tearful, beautiful reunion with the entire Strawhat crew crying their eyes out, except for my motherfucking go Luffy, who is just smiling at his crewmate Robin.
Yep, and Zoro and Jinbei, because they're watching the beautiful sight.
No, but I want to highlight Luffy because we see his face, and we see him legitimately smiling.
Yeah. The Luffy panel is so good. I feel like another person that's really, really rare is Sanji crying. That one also kind of got me.
He cries, but definitely not to
He's not crazy. Yeah, it's not like insane. It's not never before seen, but it's a little rare.
It's less than like
Zoro and Jinbei for sure.
It's less than he cries less than the Weakling trio and
Franky
and Brook. Yeah, he cries less than them, but it's definitely more than like Jinbei and Zoro.
Yeah, I'm not shocked at all. I just
he's closer aligned to all the Straw Hats he's crying with.
Yeah, absolutely.
In terms of just overall character portrayal and stuff like that. Can he be more like Zoro and Jinbei at certain times? Yes, because he steps up to the plate, but on his free time, he's not like Zoro and Jinbei. They like that on their free time, on their everyday time.
It's just who they are.
Yeah.
That's just who they are.
I mean, that was always the thing with Sanji, right? He was closer to his compassion. That's why he didn't work out with his brothers and with his siblings, right? Because they have no emotion. He has all the emotion. But we do see him cry during important things, like him versus Luffy in Whole Cake. You know what I mean? Like, he's not afraid to show his emotion, which.
Yeah, that is a pretty decent one.
I absolutely love. But this whole 2-page spread was absolutely beautiful. I cried dumb hard. I almost started crying when you were talking about it, Callie.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. My eyes got a little watery.
But go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying. To finally get one of these moments, this is one of Robin's goals, definitely, right? I know we talked about it last chapter, how Usopp crying when he saw Elbaf. He hit a goal. This is definitely what 1B for Robin was to finally see Soul again, and we're doing it. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, when I first read this, I didn't tear up, but I definitely smiled, and it's funny because when I read when I finally got to Luffy, I was like, "Oh, that's funny." I had the same expression.
It's just sick, man. It's just so fire seeing it. But yeah, the emotion definitely like overcame me. I was like,
nigga, I cried, nigga.
yeah,
like
I
real
cried so
fucking tears,
I
bro.
cried so.
Yo, let me tell y'all, I was actually on the phone with my girl. I was reading it, and because I thought it was gonna be when people say it's one of those chapters.
It's lit,
yeah, you don't expect something like this. I'm on the phone with my girl while I'm reading it, and I get to the last 2 or 3 pages, and I'm just like, I gotta call you back, babe. And I gotta bang it on her because like I'm a mess. I'm actually a wreck just reading this shit.
Yeah.
And honestly. Yeah, no, that's one of those, man. This chapter had an emotional impact on me that lasted the entire day. Like the entire rest of the day, I was thinking about this moment. I read the chapter again a few hours later, and I cried again. Like,
Yeah.
I
Tell myself here not to cry. Like I felt it. Well, I don't know. One thing I will say, this last panel of just like Robin and Saul, like hugging each other, got spoiled for me earlier in the week.
No, man.
So I was, but I will say, like going through the chapter though, it didn't fucking matter. Like it still hit me crazy. Like so, I was like in back of my head, I was like, all right, they're gonna get back together. It's gonna happen. But like the build up and everything really hit me like even harder. So
yeah, the pacing and direction, like on like the second last page, four panels are basically just Robin emotion faces. Like I think the pacing has been so breakneck and crazy that Oda is like, nah, this chapter is for one thing and one thing only.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give it the time it deserves. So yeah, the build up was just amazing. Like the second last page, like the last 3 panels are just fucking perfect. Her like going from smiling to like tearing up in the second last page. That's actually what fucking got me, honestly.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, it's gonna happen. I don't even have.
do you have the TCB up?
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah.
I liked TCB in these flowery language, bro. I love it sometimes, man. I like the translation they had for when Robin says, "I want to hear the nice things about how I survived."
Yeah.
There was something about praise.
She says, "Hey Saul, aren't you gonna praise me for being alive?"
Yo, that shit hit. I'm not gonna lie. I fucked with that one. I like this. This one's cool, but that one hit. I can't lie.
I like TCB's Saul lines too. He like the bless you was cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think I liked it more in TCB where he says like, "You did great staying alive. Thank you for being such a survivor." And then like I feel like those were more like direct like praise. And the last part, like, I'm so glad we're able to meet again after all this time. I think that was yeah. Like TCB, like they do the flowery shit right. I mean, and honestly, like there's times where like of recent memory, there's times where official gets it wrong, TCB gets it right. I'm not one to just say, oh, because the official's one way, the official's right.
Right.
I usually ask my friend who can read Japanese to tell me. But yeah, TCB killed this line. But just a fucking amazing chapter, no matter what translation you read.
Definitely goated, and definitely starts off Elbaf on the right track. Like
Elbaf top 5 arcs already, 100%.
Yeah,
Without a doubt.
So real,
yeah,
so real,
just
so
this
real.
Alone, just this alone already.
It's in the top 5. It's in the top 5, without a doubt.
Bro,
just straight up.
because like the last time we saw Robin cry was in his lobby, no?
And his lobby? No, she cried in Egghead. Well, she teared up in Egghead.
Yeah, but like cry like this though was in his lobby.
No, yeah. This type of tears is definitely Egghead. I mean, Annie's pardon. Yeah.
Yeah. So like seeing, like, because she's always been very stoic, like because of everything that she had to go through. She had to always put that facade that I'm good, and then she was doing it here, like, oh, I'm fine. It is what it is. I'm a little nervous, but then, she finally gets to just let it all out, and
Yeah, man.
that shit hits 22 years of surviving is OD, and man, it's absolutely beautiful. Like, damn it. Oh, God, man.
It's all good, man.
You Parliament.
Yeah, piece of shit, man.
It's all good, man.
Yo, I wanna talk about this Luffy panel again, bro. I think this. I really
that's
fucking
a
love
superpower,
this panel,
bro.
dude. I don't know what it is about him smiling against everybody else's tears, but that's the captain, man. He's just so happy for his crewmates and his.
it's the reflection of like I think the way I interpreted Luffy's smile is like as a captain saying like my job, okay, I'm doing my job. My job here is like not done per se, but my job here is achieved. Like because his job as captain, he made this clear like all the way back that his job as captain is to protect his crew. While he can't do everything his crew does to help make him efficient, the least he could do is protect them. So to me, this is like, you know, Luffy journeying with his crew and getting them to the goals, the dreams, and the achievements that they all want. And so when they're happy, he's happy.
Yep.
Because he did his job.
Yeah.
Same, and it showed also in like the last chapter when he was smiling with Usopp crying when they first saw Elbaf. Like we're hitting these goals, man. And it's crazy, bro.
I've said it once. I'll say it a million times. Eddie's lobby in Water 7 like is where Luffy and a lot of the Straw Hats like reach that level of character writing and development that is like just unlike anything else. And specifically Luffy in terms of being a captain, like Maud mentioned. And I think Luffy's greatest moment in this entire manga is when looking at Robin and Spandam and the world government, he says, "I know your enemy very well. Usopp, shoot the world government flag."
Yep.
Like, I think for that to kind of like for it to be against like with Robin specifically, like the person who was most in need of being lifted up and being represented, and like that's why Eddie's obviously such an amazing arc. And here again with Robin, Luffy has a very captain line, and honestly, Luffy does a lot of stuff that's like very captain-like in the second half of the manga.
Yeah.
But he's never like he doesn't like say it. This time he's like, no, I'm the motherfucking captain, and I'm gonna tell you, like, I'm gonna show you what that means, and I'm gonna give Saul my respect because you're my ally, right? But it's just this panel shows that it's not just words. This is who he is. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm glad you highlighted how amazing this panel is. It's like Luffy's the GOAT, bro. And
Luffy's the GOAT, man.
Absolutely.
Luffy's the absolute GOAT.
Got the best MC in all of anime, basically,
You know,
I never fight that. You know, I would never fight that.
Bro.
And another thing that hits too is the fact that like Saul told Robin, "You're gonna find your friends." You know what I mean?
And yes, sir.
22 years ago, and now she brought her. All her friends wanted to be there for her, and
Bro.
they all got to see this beautiful moment. So that shit hits even more, man.
I did not know how much we needed this, honestly.
Yeah.
It was perfect too, because like how they were talking about earlier, and I mean in the other panel, how Robin's like, "Aren't you going to praise me for surviving and all that other stuff, and how I've stood alive," and Saul was going in and stuff like that. I just love what makes me even love that like shot of Luffy even more is that like you can definitely say that outside of obviously the 19, 20 years or whatever that she was on a run, she was definitely going to die if she did not meet the Straw Hats. Like,
Luffy literally saved her life at the end of Alabasta. Like,
yeah,
she's like, "Yo, just leave me in the tomb," as it was coming down, and she's like,
so he saved her twice technically.
Yep.
Yeah, like it's so poetic. It's poetic.
It's beautiful, man.
Yeah, he did it. He did what he was supposed to do. He understood the assignment without was being told the assignment. He just knew it, and it's just it's beautiful how we got, because looking at this panel, I think back to Eni's lobby, and like you said, why Huss, the moment where he said to shoot the flag, and all that strife, all that fighting to get Robin back, and to stop Lucci from pursuing and all this other stuff, to now he's a Yonko he's a Yonko captain, a part of a Yonko crew, and like literally no one is in a better, safer hands than his crew right now. Like it's dope. It's dope as fuck. So I'm very happy with this. Like it's, like I said, very poetic, very top tier of a chapter.
It's amazing, man. And honestly, I always think this about Luffy, where like reading One Piece growing up, I'm like, yeah, Zoro's my favorite character, and Ace is probably my favorite character. But the more every time I think about Luffy, like he really might have just crept up and become my favorite character. Like he's just the GOAT, bro.
He is the
Yeah.
goat.
It always shows in his interactions with other people.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
Mhm.
that's one of his best superpowers, in my opinion. Is his compassion. His like, he's so empathetic.
His
Without
emotional
you,
intelligence.
yeah, dude. Without you even like realizing, but Luffy already noticed. You know what I mean? Like, and that's one of his best traits.
Yeah,
So
his regular intelligence could use some work, but his emotional
Yeah.
intelligence, he's up there. He's
he
up
definitely
there.
sacrificed the one for the other.
Yeah.
I think one thing, actually not one thing. I think my favorite part about this chapter is that Robin literally tells Saul, like, again, we get to the reunion and Saul's chopping it up about the Vegapunk message, and the Ohara stuff was really sick. Where he's like, yeah, this is the like Vegapunk was he brought the words of Ohara. I think the TCB used the word voices, which I really like because the word voice is so intertwined in One Piece with a lot of stuff like hockey and voice of all things. But anyway, but Robin is like, yo, fuck all that, dog. Like, I'm alive and we're together again. And I think Robin asking for anything, well, first of all, asking to be kind of treated not like a child, but like vulnerably and like almost like I'm trying to find the perfect word, but daintily almost, is so unlike her. And because she's like the older sister of the crew and she's looking out for them all the time, she's a little goofy sometimes for sure, but she's always on guard. Like, I think this level of a lack of guard and complete comfort is we've never seen before from Robin, and I think that's my favorite part about this entire chapter, for Robin to be so open and vulnerable and like almost
Yeah.
childlike. I think
I
it's
was
so
gonna
deserved and it's those things that makes me cry the most.
Yeah.
Right. I was gonna say earlier that like we talk about like, you know, Sanji crying, you know, in tandem with like the rest of the crew outside of Zoro and Jinbei. Just in general, I would say Robin's closer to Jinbei and Zoro than Sanji is, honestly, when it comes
Yeah.
to like.
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah.
said something like that earlier.
personality
Mr. was saying how stoic
Yeah.
Robin normally is and whatnot.
Yeah, so that's just even more like jarring than seeing Sanji crying. That's why I feel like this hits home. Also, obviously with the backstory that we know and everything that's led up to this point. But I just want to say though that Robin, what I want to know is, what do y'all think we go from here in terms, do we think we just like are we gonna get some Ohara, not Ohara, but was it Void Century expedition after this?
Exposition?
Or going straight back to the straight back to, you know,
The
the
party?
feast. Yeah.
Feast.
Well, I'm on the they're now making the backside, so I think shit pops off between here and them making it back to the bar for the feast.
They might run into the guy, the silhouette guy. Like, that's always
Mm.
possible. He's on the island somewhere. Maud, I don't know. I think it's a bit too early for Void Century stuff because, again, I think Elbaf is like almost maybe one of the last like places that we're gonna get any sort of Void Century, because it's basically we're almost at the end, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Elbaf is one of the most historied places. They worship the sun god like no one else. I think the biggest reveals will probably come towards the end, but we might get the Ohara stuff sooner rather than later to get a framework for what to work with, and then the Elbaf stuff might color it all in.
Right.
I just wonder what Oda will do, because there's always this emotional tsunami that just hit us, right? I wonder what his plan is in terms of like the feeling of like, do I slow it down? Do I go straight into some mystery? You know, who knows? I have no idea. What do you think?
Nah,
Juan?
bro. Oh man.
I wouldn't be surprised if we got. Only reason why I don't think, you know, why I wouldn't be surprised if we got some Void Century stuff is because we have Saul right here. You know what I mean? Like, we have him right here, and you know, there might be plenty of stuff that, you know, Robin wants to know right now. Plus, you know, he's hiding all the books, the O'Hara's scholarly findings / books / teachings and everything. So I can imagine, you know, the crew officially meeting Saul thanking her friends for taking care of Robin and all that other stuff, and then maybe we might either get the whole gang going with him, or maybe just like a select few, which includes Robin, to go on the expedition dump. Maybe like you said, lighthearted O'Hara stuff. Maybe like one voice entry thing to keep us on our toes, and then yeah, maybe at the end, we'll get like a whole dump or something, or the middle. Honestly, it could be the middle, just because of the sun god. Like who was it, Mistus, that said the sun god, or you two said the sun god tie-in and stuff like that. So we might get that in the middle.
Yeah, and the ending of Elbaf might just be some fucking like world changing event, like
Yeah.
Ragnarok type. So we might not even have time to sit down and learn about. It might be in the middle, like you said before shit really pops off.
Yeah.
We'll see. I was thinking like, cause Callie said like the silhouette that pops up. I don't know, cause I just finished Better Call Saul, so I just think like, what if like the silhouette pops up behind Luffy, right? And then Saul's eyes just like grow dread, just like Lalo popped up behind.
You wilding right now. I'm not gonna
Nah,
lie to you.
no, but I'm just saying like because the silhouette is still very prominent, right? We don't know, and then we also got Loki, and it's just so many factors that are still in play. That I hope we get a little, like they get to chill out for a little bit before shit pops off. But I don't know because this is the last chapter of this year, correct?
I think there's
one
one
on
in
December 23rd.
2
I
weeks.
think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Damn, because this would have been perfect to end the year. But so the next chapter, it could, something could definitely, I could definitely see Otis giving us a cliffhanger next chapter, and then
Bro, if Oda hits us with the Saul's in danger again, I'm just gonna fight him, bro. I'm gonna get a ticket to Japan, bro.
yeah,
I did not get a ticket to Japan.
What do you mean, bro? We've been through this, man.
I mean, we got the reunion already, so like at this point, I'm not saying he's disposable, but he is disposable.
Bro, nah, not for Robin, nigga.
They got the reunion already, bro.
not until we know what he knows, and then he's good to go. That's
Bro,
it.
no,
I'm just imagining the imprint, like the manga chapters being officially released while I was reading it, and then like in a cartoon like TV fashion, skip scene to while I was knocking on Oda's door and putting his fist up. Like,
it's like, how you know I live here, bro?
I have my ways, bro.
Yeah, no,
That's
bro,
funny.
I went through middle school, high school, college, thinking this nigga was dead, bro. You're not killing him now, bro. Like, it's not happening, bro.
That's real. That's crazy to think about. We've been thinking he's been dead for at least 8-9 years. Like,
Literally half my life, bro. Like,
yeah, like that's pretty
we're
fucking
not doing
crazy.
this, bro. But I do think, yeah, like every arc needs some sort of like stakes and danger. So maybe Saul is in danger. That would actually be a good way for, well, maybe not. I'm not gonna use the word good, but maybe that would be a way for us to feel some real connection and danger. Like I don't want Robin to be, stripped away of that happiness just so quickly. So Saul is a good target.
technically, everybody. I mean, depending on how Loki is, theoretically, right? Like everybody could be in danger in one shape, one way or the other.
Yeah.
I mean, Loki's locked up down there. I don't know what the story is behind that. Either he's like a good guy that is highly misunderstood, or this dude might be the bringer of Ragnarok and Luffy fucked up. Like, I don't want it. One of those have to be true. But
Yeah, we'll
I
see.
don't know.
I don't know. The other day I was thinking like, what if Loki actually isn't the one that's tied up? Because I know people were saying that at some point in Norse mythology, Loki was supposed to be tied up, but ended up he switched himself out with Thor, and then but made Thor look like him. And what if the silhouette is Loki actually just around and about, and is actually Thor or someone else that's tied up down there? But
Oh, so that's
You
to
know.
be like the true Loki.
yeah, I mean, just an idea, but we'll see. I have no idea what I was gonna do, and I absolutely love it. Thank you, Oda. Keep us on our toes.
Yes. Oh yeah. Any last questions, comments, concerns before we wrap it up? Amazing
I will
chapter. Amazing chapter.
Absolutely. I will say one thing I wanted to point out earlier about the first part chapter. When I read the chapter, I was wondering like why Oda segmented it that way, like why he put the flashback at the beginning. That was like so like because as you read it, it's so fucking sad, right? You see all this
Right.
stuff. Robin thinks about killing herself, and then
Right.
oh, now we're in Elbaf. It's like I'm just supposed to like live like this, right, until the end. And I think thinking about it now, I think it was amazing for Oda to put that at the start of the chapter because it kind of leaves like a cloud over your head as Robin has to tell them like, yeah, by the way, I have something I have to do, and you can't really just focus on the goodness. Kind of like it's kind of like her. Like he puts you in her shoes of like, sure, I want to party, you know, I want to have a good time with other giants, but no, I need to go talk to the person to save me. So I think Oda's sectioning and sequencing of this chapter was like, I really appreciated how he did it, even though I didn't get it at first. I think he was amazing to put the very crazy part at the beginning, to kind of have a cloud over the middle, and then the cloud gets dispersed with, you know, the sun and the light in the end in this last page.
Yeah.
That was definitely amazing. Honestly, 11 out of 10 chapter.
I agree, 10 out of 10 chapter.
Yeah.
I want to say top 10 chapter, but it might be a little too early.
No, I think
not.
that's why I said 11 out of 10 chapter. It's actually genuinely, I'm thinking about it. It's one of the best I've ever
It's
read.
already in the top 10 for Elbaf alone.
In general, I can only think of a couple of moments that had the same emotional impact as this one. Like, this is crazy. This is definitely crazy.
Bonnie, the Kuma chapter.
I don't even think that. I think that one was mad emotional, and it wasn't on this level.
Yeah.
Here's the infamous question right here, Callie.
Yeah.
Does this compete with the Nami moment?
Nami moment is better, but this might be the closest. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I can't. It's Nami moment. It's the first Robin moment I want to live.
Yeah.
And this.
All of them, Luffy, by the way. just a note. He's always like he's always there, like in some way.
Luffy's
bro.
Luffy's the fucking
What about the cathartic punch from Kuma?
No.
Kelly didn't even believe in that nigga.
I didn't even think that shit was gonna hit. Like, yo, I didn't think he was gonna hit that shit. Yeah. Nah, I hold this moment. I hold this moment very high in my list of One Piece moments.
Yeah, I just think it's the sequencing is just so good. It was honestly like beginning to end. This chapter is a piece of art.
Yeah,
like no cap, bro. And like it's not even just her. It's like the Straw Hats, the Luffy moment. It's Luffy the captain. Like it's just, bro. And kind of like just thinking about what Mr. said about like how dreams and like things that we've been waiting for since the beginning of these characters' arcs are being, you know, fulfilled and realized. It really makes you like think like, wow, yeah, we're in the home stretch a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, Luffy wants to get everyone's goals done first before his goal. I feel that's what he would want. So
yeah, I mean,
he has to be power king to do it anyway. So a lot of them will probably be done.
Right. I mean, funny enough, that's also one of the reasons why some people have a belief about this, how the sequencing of the rest of One Piece is going to go, because I remember hearing talks about whether One Piece was going to end when Luffy finds the One Piece, or will it end after a little after he finds the One Piece and stuff. Because I remember Library of Ohara, he was debating a lot of people saying like it only makes sense for the story to end once Luffy finds the One Piece. Not
impossible.
Yeah, not till not the fact, because of literally that's the segment of what One Piece is all about, is finding the One Piece. And he brings up arguments as to why, but with the idea of Luffy getting everybody's goals out the way first, which I can believe that, just because like Zoro was talking about, like, you know, being the world's greatest swordsman, that declaration all the way back in pre-time skip, and Luffy was like, yeah, I won't have it any other way. The best, you know, the pirate king will need to have the world's greatest swordsman on his crew and stuff. So stuff like that, you know what I mean, would probably technically boast the argument that Ohara was making about, okay, One Piece ends once Luffy finds it, versus like, you know, after the fact. So I just wanted to know what y'all think about that, you know. Overall.
I have a very clear I have like so many reasons to why I think Luffy will find the One Piece, and the story will continue into probably defeating the world government. And then, you know, I think Blackbeard and Emu are like interchangeable, as who could be the last villain. Like it could be Blackbeard steals the, like, you know, the world government spot, like becomes king of the world somehow, like Rocks wanted to. But anyway, my point, I have a lot of reasons as to why, but Luffy's final goal is not being the king of the pirates and finding the One Piece. It's something we don't know. And Franky says that Luffy has to be the pirate king for that goal to even happen. so we better find the One Piece. We literally know that whatever Luffy has left, it's after the One Piece. And like, you know, the Odin flashback told us that it's only when you find the One Piece do you understand, you know, like the ancient weapons, the Will of D, and you have to use all that information to save the world, right? And so I'm sure that
or come up with whatever conclusion, because I mean, Roger and them, they didn't. I mean, they were
in their own words, they were too early.
Yeah, true, but at the same time, you know, Vegapunk, he made it clear that like the water levels, so the state of the world, and all that other stuff. And remember, this was the criticism I low key kind of had for the Roger Pirates, or like I understood where the criticism was coming from, because all that information is presented to where you get the One Piece and you sit on it. Even if you were too early, you still sit on some crazy information to know, or whatever like that. That is in direct threat to the state of the world. And then when not Roger, but when Rayleigh was not addressed about it, but when they showed him, and Shaki pointed out, like they're talking about, you know, the One Piece or whatever, or talking about y'all, and Rayleigh was like, Vegapunk, let the young guys do what they want, let them, you know what I mean, let them find it in their own way, because it's more fun like that and stuff. So I always thought that was interesting wording, just because like the state of the world, something like that crazy being quote unquote fun, like that sounds more like a chaotic neutral or chaotic good type thing, right? So I don't 100% know if finding the One Piece means directly like you're going to save the world. It might mean like, you know, what's best for the world. Because
well, like you have all the keys, you just have to make your own decision about it.
Right, because that's why what's his face, Vegapunk, he even kept throwing that caveat out there, that I don't know who was right and wrong in the history books. Like, he kept saying that. So once we, the audience, understand what the true history is, I feel like even like One Piece viewers will have a split, like will have a split reaction on what Luffy or whoever else should do with that info, right?
I think that's always possible, and I think the Void Century stuff, all we know about it is written by the people that lost, right? The Ancient Kingdom and Joy Boy. So we only have it in their perspective and stuff. So yeah, I do agree that like once we get there, there's gonna be some sort of, you know, we don't know everything, and even Elbaf, right? The rest of this arc, like we're gonna learn some shit that we were not ready for. But I definitely don't think One Piece and Laugh Tale is the end of the story. That's my firm opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's too much that will happen after the One Piece is found that they can't just be like, oh yeah, it's done.
Yeah.
You know. But we'll see.
Yeah, and Saul is gonna give us a lot of info, I'm sure.
True. Yeah, that's most of those reasons are the same reason I have. I think Library of Ohara said though that like everything that everyone's concerned about, Emu and like, you know, the Celestial Dragons World Government, etc., could be taken care of before Luffy finds the One Piece or something like that. Because people took his main point was that people took the part where Whitebeard said, you know,
the world's gonna
One Piece, yeah. He said people took that way too literally, and it is different or something like it. It's not as like cut and dry in like the Japanese translation or something like that.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I think that's like one of his main points. But
damn, I can't even argue. I don't speak Japanese.
But I mean, with all that being said, I still lean on the idea that, you know, the story is going to continue even after the One Piece is found, just based off of what you just said. Like, his goal is literally tied to him becoming the king of the pirates. I mean, we could theoretically get like an epilogue of sort to see what that is, but I mean,
that's
well, how about let's get there first before.
Real gun to your head. How many chapters you guys think Elbaf's gonna be? I'm gonna say literally like 70, maybe even 80.
How long was Wano?
Wano was 150.
How long was Dressrosa?
80 plus. Egghead was like 70.
I got over 100.
110.
I rate that. I respect that. I just think like we're moving too fast, I think, for 100, but I think it's up there too.
I got 80
Yep.
personally.
Imagine it's 10.
Oh, we're out of here, guys. See you later.
On to laugh tail.
No. If it was 10, trust me, if it was 10, you're gonna have to do a cartoon sketch of me knocking on his door, putting my face.
Man, as long as I get the window seat, I'm there, man. Mister, what about you, bro?
I think 90 to 120. Or
So we're all on the very long side.
Yeah. I hope so, at least. You know what I mean? I want to be in Elbaf for a bit. I'm not gonna lie. So.
Yeah, hopefully we get some more time in here. I'm definitely looking forward to more Elbaf story. We got a lot of stuff that needs to be wrapped up and info that we need, and a lot of stuff that we're only gonna find out on this island specifically. So there's a lot. There's definitely a lot to pad this arc to last as long as Oda needs it to. So I don't expect it to end anytime soon.
I genuinely have no fucking idea.
And then Egghead was like what, a year and a half? I could definitely
I think it was 2 and some change.
Is it 2 and some change?
Yeah.
Oh. Damn.
I know, right? It's a little longer than you would think, but it was like 70 chapters, and like the average is like 37 chapters a year.
Okay, so I could definitely see it being at least 3 years.
I think we literally could leave Elbaf in 2027.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I definitely see it's at least 2 years. I think 2 years minimum.
Yeah, I'm of that belief. Like I say, like around 2 years, whatever. If we're not obviously counting this as that, because would you say this is like where Elbaf starts, or would you say
Elbaf started like a month ago, 2 months ago?
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I would say the last chapter of Egghead was when Saturn died.
Yeah.
I think Elbaf started right after that, like Bartolomeo and stuff.
Yeah, because the Elbaf I think Elbaf started when we saw the silhouette of Dude.
Yeah, that's the same chapter
of
the end of Saturn.
Yeah.
So I think.
Yeah, I agree.
No, I think you're right.
I agree. All right.
With that
being said, that will be the end of this episode of Strawhat Sitdown. Appreciate everybody that was in the chat today. We appreciate you guys in the Twitch chat and the YouTube chat chatting it up. Much love to you guys. If you guys are not watching these episodes live, you need to be watching these episodes live every Sunday at 12 p.m. at YouTube/Strawhat Sitdown or Twitch.tv/Cali_Mac.
Yeah, shout out to Mooseman on the Twitch, and shout out to John Sharada and Michelle Jimenez in the YouTube. We appreciate you guys chatting with us. It actually really means a lot.
We appreciate you guys. Much love.
Not just that, guys. Before we sign off, do you think as we sign off we could do one like time of one super for the one time? You know?
Oh hell yeah, man!
On the goat.
Hell yeah, bro. I'm down.
Yes, sir.
Sure thing.
All right.
Of course.
All right.
For the perfect send off.
Yes.
This is gonna be hard to work over Discord.
It's gonna be so disorganized. It's all good.
Gonna be,
it's fine.
Okay.
We can also go one at a time too. We can go one at a time, and Mister can end it because he has the Franky.
I figure we all do it at the same time.
That's cool too.
Okay.
Let's try.
Go ahead. Do you think, Callie?
Wait. So are we doing it or not? I'm confused.
Count us down. Count us down to 3, 2, 1, and then 3, 2, 1. A super.
No.
Wait. So
I want me to lead. I'll lead. I'll lead.
Yeah. You brought it up, bro. This is all you.
All right.
Mister,
All
so
right.
3, 2, 1, and then super. All right.
Yeah. So thank you all guys for being here. Appreciate it. Stay tuned for the next episode next week, and the episode will drop on Monday. Be happy, be healthy, spread love, and for the GOAT Kazuki Yao, let's do one super as a send off for you. And also, just so you guys know, the 22nd of December we're getting the official reveal of the next voice actor taking over Franky's voice. So they're doing like a whole retirement ceremony for him, and it's going to be awesome. So with that being said, thank you guys, and 3, 2, 1.
Super.
Later, y'all. Have a good day.
Peace.
Peace.
Who gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat Sitdown. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Who gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat Sitdown. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Strawhat Sitdown crew in the building. We promoting to these other podcasts. We gon' put these people in their feelings when they hear this. this, and they know that they can't top this. We spit facts and we poppin'. Every time an episode is dropping, we see D3 in the corner. Mister, that's a real G with the green screen in the background. Got him looking like he in a real scene. We got Big Mod in the cut. Always ready with rebuttals, but he bring the knowledge when we in the huddle, so you know the crew is never gonna fumble. And it's wild huss, last but not least. If you ask me, then Cali, Matt the captain, make them rally around me. Every Sunday we gon' run deep, and we can't stop until we find out about that One Piece. Who gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat Sitdown. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that One Piece? We are. Who gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat Sitdown. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that One Piece?